What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. I am your host, Adam Vale, and tonight I am joined by Dana Abercrombie. What's up, Dana?
Hello, everyone. It's an exciting time to be here.
There you go. Richard, see, I was going to go with Richard for Ricky Negron.
What's up? Are you ready for some wrestling?
And Richard Bailey Jr.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, people. This was a hot mess. Just so you guys know. So yesterday, just so we'll give you a little backstory. So yesterday we recorded NXT TakeOver. We did it. I think it was almost an hour and a half, right? Just covering all the matches, all the stuff, doing everything. Turns out, audio issues. It didn't record everybody. It had some shit going on. OBS acting up. So I was like, all right, what are we going to do? Because there's a lot of content. We also want to cover Thunderdome and that whole thing. And then, of course, we have SummerSlam, and we also have AEW. All right, so we got AEW, which is going alongside the NXT show tomorrow. And then, of course, Sunday, SummerSlam. So there is a lot. So we're going to try to cram all this in and not make it too long. So first off, we're going to jump in real quick. Our thoughts and our views of Thunderdome, and then we will do a quick rundown of what we were thinking of for NXT TakeOver, and then we'll jump right into SummerSlam. But I think that there are some notable matches on that AEW card, and we don't want to just go over AEW. It's going to be special. They're definitely doing something on this because it's 2 hours, and there is some overlap, Ricky, right, with the NXT.
Yeah, it's gonna be that AEW starting at 6, and because it's a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
NXT starts at 7, so from 7 to 8 Eastern, you're gonna have that overlap between the two shows.
All right. So let me start getting everything queued up. But you know what? Let's start this off. Thunderdome. I was a little curious about how they got the rights to the name, but in my mind, I'm putting it together that it's Universal that they partnered with, because Universal owns Mad Max, and Universal owns NBC and USA Network, and I'm sure they worked something out to have the rights, even though they kept saying WWE Thunderdome. I don't know just if adding WWE makes a big distinct difference, because we all know when you think Thunderdome, right? When Thunderdome pops up in your head, you think Mad Max. That's what I think of. That's the first thing they think of. But whatever. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they don't even own the rights. Maybe no one owns it. Maybe it's just, out there. It's just a word. But whatever. Started off, I thought that was kind of cool. I liked it. I liked the whole vibe. I liked seeing the big stage and the fireworks and, the pyro and the virtual wall of all the people. I did try to get on there. I didn't get on. I'm going to keep trying, though. I see that it's going to be up for every week. So I'm going to keep trying. Who knows? I want to have that experience if possible. And it was cool. I know some of you guys have your own little views as the show went on. But overall, and this is not judging, we're not doing a review of Smackdown. This is just of Thunderdome, their performance, their setting. This is going to be their home, I think, until the end of October or maybe even beyond. But right now, from what I understand, the agreement is that they have it until October. Sometime maybe mid-October. But I enjoyed it. There was a lot of light. It felt alive. Pumping in the crowd noise, it sort of threw me off, but then not too much. And then I was wondering, I was like, where are they getting this audio from? From their tape catalog, or are they contacting 2K? And it's like, hey, the stuff that we sent you guys for the games or that you've been working with, do you have any of that? Can we pump some of that in here? For like with the boos and the cheers and those type of things. Because they were setting up some of those moments. When Bailey and Sasha came out, I did hear boos. I heard a lot of cheers with Jeff, when he would do his poses and stuff like that. So it was definitely...
You remember those old AKI games, like WWF No Mercy?
Yeah.
It was like the crowd noise from that.
Yeah. It's like that weird, almost like a staticky crowd, but it was there. It's I'm sure they can keep working on that. I've heard that some MLS had theirs, and they were improving on it too, trying to make it more special for certain teams and their home teams, and adding local chants. Meaning, I think they can do that here too. Like, let's say if they have certain wrestlers that come out and they have certain things that people see, I don't know, like Brock or something, you could have like suplex, super things, whatever. I'm sure
Or like the time that they dubbed in the boom for Adam
there
Cole.
You go. Yeah. The boom. Yeah. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that as time goes on. This was their first go, and I think it went well. I had no issues with it. The show is a whole other thing, but the design, what they were hyping up, I think they delivered. All right, so Ricky, you already talked. What do you think? What was your impressions of Thunderdome, WWE Thunderdome?
I like the presentation of it, like the lighting and all that, the stage. It looked more spacious. The thing I thought was lame was the virtual wall. I could have done without that. Like, I get the idea that you want to kind of have the illusion of having a crowd there, but it was too easy to notice that the audience was not very entertained. They looked dead. And there were a lot of times where you saw the same person on multiple screens, which really took me out of it.
Yeah, my wife caught that. She was like, "Oh, that guy is standing next to his double." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah," and we paused, and sure enough, I was like, "Well, maybe they're twins. Maybe that's how they got selected. They were twins." Hey, anything's possible.
Twins that just so happen to have the same exact reaction.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't see the reaction. I was like, "All right, let's pause it. Let me see what you're looking at." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. They just duped him." So.
Yeah, and I also remember one point during the episode where they tried to, I believe this was at the conclusion of the Intercontinental Championship match, where they zoomed in on one of those screens from an angle, and it looked terrible because you could barely see the person in the screen. And so it was just like, no, the execution of it was not great as far as the virtual wall, but everything else I thought was superb, and it was an upgrade over the Performance Center.
So you're watching the NBA now during this whole thing. We talked about that yesterday. Yep. They also have a virtual wall. Did this seem on that quality? Because that's what I heard, that they weren't really reinventing anything. They were just copying from what the NBA was doing with this virtual wall.
It was similar, but the thing was the way the NBA does it is that it was like one flat wall, right, as opposed to rows of screens. It's just one wall, and you have like virtual rows, like you have a bottom row, middle row, top row, but it's all on one surface or whatever. And the fans are bigger. You can see them more clearly, but they're so far back that it doesn't really distract you as you're watching the game. Whereas, depending on the angle that they're showing, you just see this big bright wall of little tiny screens, and of many different colors, and it's totally disorienting because the way the NBA does it, which I thought they do it correctly, is they have the fans have, I guess, like a virtual background, so you only see the silhouette of the fan as well as the fan themselves, but not like the wall behind them or anything like that. It looks like they're sitting in a virtual chair. If they did something like that in WWE where it looks like they're all in chairs but virtually, then that would be cool, but that seems like that would be a whole lot of work that they're probably not going to be bothered to do, so I don't know.
Oh, all right. What about you, Rich? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much a lot of the stuff that Ricky said I agree with. The atmosphere of being in the Amway Center, just 20 times better than the Performance Center. Mm-hmm. No offense. And I especially, if I recall correctly, Ricky might have to correct me about this, but I believe that AJ Styles made his debut in the Royal Rumble in the exact same arena.
You know what? I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Because I believe you may have witnessed that with someone that you know.
Yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely. Because it was in Florida, so I do remember that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I love the atmosphere, but everything else, I wasn't really a fan of the other stuff. And, of course, when y'all made the comment about, oh, yeah, it's the same people next to each other, I didn't really realize that until you mentioned it. So that's not good. That makes it even worse now that I know that little detail.
Yeah, well, it's just a hiccup. I'm assuming this is their first time trying all this, or at least putting it into use. But so give it time. Just like the Performance Center looked like hot garbage when they first started and improved.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But the last point that I will make about the Thunderdome is that I'm okay with them deciding that they want to do this. What I don't like about WWE is them patting themselves on the back as if they invented this, because I saw that little
Oh
segment on the
yeah,
show.
it was like trending
Yeah,
worldwide, and
yeah.
they always do that though. They always it never. This is just their. They always toot their own horns. Or remember that? Did you know when those things pop up? Did you
Yep.
know? It's like constantly throwing their propaganda at us about everything. It's like, okay, yes, okay, we get it. But all right, Dana. What did you think? Thunderdome. I saw your text. At first, they started off very glorious and hyped. Oh, this is it. That's the second coming of wrestling. And then it just dwindled out.
Okay, first of all, boo you.
All right, thank you.
And secondly, the opening of the show was very refreshing. And I loved how it just started. It had a new opening. I loved the colors. I loved all of the set design. I loved the pyro. There was so much pyro. It felt like, for a moment, like nothing happened and you was back in regular wrestling with audience. And then as the show progressed, and you got to see how they did the digital audience, and you got to hear the piped in, constantly looped sound from Super Nintendo, that I was incredibly distracted. It was complete trash. And on top of that, when you have storylines that just don't go anywhere, I'm half asleep. I look like the people who was watching the show. Now, that's terrible if you have this whole list of rules that you make sure people sign, and so you can sue them if they screw up. And one of those rules should be fake it until you make it or something, because no one was hardly cheering or applauding.
Well, do you know? I saw them applauding during Jeff's, but do we know what they see?
I think they probably see it like on your computer. So wouldn't it be like watching it on, I don't know, like a WWE Network thing?
I was just wondering if there was something special. I wasn't sure if they had like a different view, if there was something different. I don't know. It's just a link?
It's a link. So it's just like watching it on your computer.
Well, I'm definitely going to try to get on there, so I'll let you know.
And also on top of that, you had half of their heads were cut off, their bodies was cut off. You had repeated people being repeated, all throughout, which was weird, because if you're telling me that your sign up to be on the show was over in 5 minutes, then you should have had enough people.
There could be something else to this, and I'm thinking maybe people dropped. And the ones that dropped, then it would just duplicate the nearest person to them. Maybe that's what they did to fill in those holes. Because I did see some flickering in some parts of it. So maybe that was happening. Because not everybody's going to be able to stay for the entire 2 hours. I'm sure.
No one should, because, your product's not good. That also shows how bad it is.
Yeah.
They should have a waiting list. If that's
how does that? Do you know how do the NBA pull this off? For the entire game?
I don't know. I think that the fans. I speculate on this, but I think that the fans that are in there are actually like the family of the players, because I have seen like in one Celtics game I saw Jason Tatum's mom was in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're all family or if there's just like a lucky random few who able to do it, but yeah.
All right. Well, maybe.
But then,
we'll contact our friend of the show, Bobby Lashley. We'll see if he can hook us up and get us on it. Bobby, I'm gonna send you a message.
Wow.
I'll do a private DM. He's a friend of the show, so.
Wow. And then on top of that, I don't understand why the noise itself was so muffled. It was extremely muffled, and it was on a loop.
But that's what I'm saying.
The same cheers.
Yeah, that was my question of where did they get this audio loop of a crowd? Did they get it from the game? Did they get this from old footage? They didn't put time into it. I think as time goes on, they can actually cut and paste for each individual superstar. Because almost all of them have their own reactions, crowd reactions, AJ Styles, or even, let's say, if Samoa Joe comes down. Right? I'm sure we're going to hear Joe's going to kill you another Joe. They can pump all that. If he has a match and we don't hear that, then we know they're being lazy about it. Because I was like, come on now, that you can cut from the game. You can ask for the audio from the game uncompressed. I'm sure they have it uncompressed.
But that's what made it just, it felt cheap. It felt like it was in a really expensive place with just cheap technology.
It felt new. That's all. I think they're on the right track, though. I have faith. I liked the overall performance, the layout, the design. It impressed me. They hyped it up, and I think it lived up to the hype. Yeah, the audio is but that's minor. That's something they can overcome. We didn't see the screen fall apart. That would have been embarrassing, right? We just see like a Windows logo or a blue screen. That would have sucked. Pyro setting things on fire. That would have sucked.
See, that would have made the show interesting, so why not?
Oh, you see, you want destruction, disaster. Yes, it's in the Thunderdome, but we want to be happy. So we want this to work.
Happy.
No, we can't be happy. We can't be
There's
happy.
happiness.
But you know what else? You're right. We could be happy because we got NXT TakeOver. That's right. That is going to save this weekend. You know what? I'm not gonna poo-poo SummerSlam. I think there's some good quality matches on it. But NXT always delivers. I don't care. I'll stick with that. I feel like every pay-per-view that we've watched from NXT has had some pretty good matches on it. I've never watched an NXT show and said, that was a waste of my time. Right? I don't think anybody.
Not the pay-per-views, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not the the shows, yeah, because that's just the shows. But the pay-per-views, I feel like everybody just brings their A game. I don't know. Maybe Triple H goes in the back and he does those big memorable speeches that we always hear about. This is your moment. You have to make it. Everybody has to go out there, give 110%. Remember, I'm watching. Vince is watching. My wife's watching. My kids watching. And your future kids are watching. Go out there and kick some ass. Make a name for yourself. He has to give some kind of speech because you always hear about that. You always hear. I was like, Triple H. Remember for a while he was hugging everybody. Remember when Sasha won and she did the hug, and then Alexander and all that. He's there. He makes it seem like he's part of the show. He's very in tuned to the talent and what's going on, and that's cool. I'm all for it. But so anyway, let's jump into it because we have a lot to cover, and we're not going to go deep like we did yesterday. It was
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Oh, there you go. And for people listening, that was a female that said that. So before you start sending me all the hate, are you male chauvinist, mother? No. That was a female that said that. Okay, so here we go. So now we have 6 matches on this card. There was originally just going to be 5. And so if you don't know, they added the Finn Balor versus Thatcher. That should be a fun match. That's something that we had discussed yesterday that we thought should be on the match. We didn't understand why it wasn't. On the card. We're like, it should be on the card. This is the feud you're pushing. You have Finn Balor, who's a big star. He should be on every pay-per-view since he's with NXT. And Thatcher, they're giving him the rub. We saw that when I'm drawing a blank. Pretty boy over there, the bro, Riddle. When he beat Riddle in the pit. That pit was awesome. I want to see that return in some form within the game or Battlegrounds or something. That was awesome. That fight pit, that was a cool design. Liked it. I'm all for that. So here it is. This match is happening. So real quick, what do you guys think? You hyped on it? Is this going to be a quality match? Dana, you first.
Which match?
Finn Balor, Thatcher.
The Finn Balor. Yes. Absolutely. They're both really superb wrestlers, and Finn Balor's really happy. So I definitely see this being a great match. I see Thatcher winning.
Whoa, you see Thatcher winning?
Yeah.
You really
Even though Finn has more of the hype and has been doing way more interviews, why not fit Thatcher? It's the underdog.
No, it's true. But yeah. You know what? Yeah, why not? That's your pick. Yeah, I'll go with it. All right, Ricky, what about you?
I'm going to go with Thatcher. Usually when the heel starts the feud, they get the first end of the victory. So I'm going to go with him.
All right. Richard?
I'm going to go in the opposite direction, and I'm going to say Finn Balor wins because Thatcher cost him his match with Velveteen Dream on NXT, and Finn Balor has been losing quite a bit of matches as of late. So, yeah. I say Finn Balor.
Yep. All right, Finn Balor. I think this is just going to be a build of a feud. I think this is going to keep going. We're probably not going to get a definitive finish on this one, only because especially when you have someone like Thatcher that you're trying to push up there and put him as a main guy, and you have Finn Balor. You can't just have Finn step over him, and then you can't have this guy just run over Finn. You got to keep this going. You have to prove, and that's one thing that we've experienced with NXT. We've seen some massive feuds: Gargano, Ciampa, Dijak, and Keith Lee. You know, the list goes on. If you think about Velveteen and the Bruiserweight, you know, we've seen some really good. Be done. Yeah, we've seen some really good feuds, and they know how to drag them out for months. That we could see 3 or 4 or 5 sometimes with the Gargano and Ciampa, and not get tired of it. And be like, I could go for another one, you know. And even with the Keith Lee and Dijak, that I felt like they did a tour of just that match. I know when they came to my town, when I saw the card and I went to this live show, I'm like, please tell me they're doing this, and they did it. And I was thrilled. I'm like, this is it. This is the tour. Everywhere should have this match. Every stage should experience this match. You know, these two competitors were amazing. And then they sprinkled in Damian Priest, and then that was awesome. They had some really good chemistry there. There was a lot going on with these big men. All right. So, speaking of that, so we'll jump into the next one. No, actually, let's go into another one, a quicker one. Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai champion, defending against Dakota Kai with Gonzalez. I think at the time we all agreed. No, maybe we didn't. I think that there was so much going on. People, I'm just trying to get to all of this. But I think we agreed that some people agreed that Io should retain. It was too soon to drop. I was all for Dakota Kai because I feel it's her time. But Dana, you want to go quick on this one?
Way too soon. No.
Way too soon. No. All right. Rich?
Yeah. Io Shirai retains. But I did say it's probably going to be a feud. Just like you said it's going to be a feud with Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher. They're going to stretch this out.
They're going to stretch it out. All right. And Ricky?
Yeah, I agree. I think Io retains, but it's not over. It's not going to be over between her and Dakota. Dakota will eventually get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's the whole issue is eventually. I feel that she's been there a pretty long time now. She's been there 3-4 years. You know, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, it works out for her. I think it will. I think they're giving her time to grow in her new character. We also have the Adam Cole versus Pat the Punk McAfee, which I do not approve of. You guys missed it. Dana and I had a heated debate that went back and forth, and that was probably the majority of the show. Because we had disagreements on this whole thing. But her views on Pat have changed thanks to TMZ. I don't know what's up with that. But you said you were now a fan. You were a fan of Pat.
I was a fan during the whole argument.
Oh, you're still a fan? No, I thought you were all for just WWE pulling their shenanigans of getting outside talent over on in-house talent.
Yes. Here's the thing. I didn't like that. I thought that was a cheap move, but from what I'm seeing, the man is freaking hilarious. And he has personality and he has style. And he's very honest. He's like, yes, I might lose this match, but I'm going to try. And I appreciate that. And he has way more personality than what you see in other wrestlers.
That's fine. That's fine. My whole thing is I don't want him to win. Adam Cole needs to win decisively. I don't want to hear no bullshit. This is it. And that was the argument that I brought up yesterday. It's like, here it is, Adam Cole is coming off of this very long title reign, the longest in NXT history as champ, and then he's going to do the job to Pat, a non-wrestler.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
No, it would not be hilarious. How dare you? How dare you? Well, there is nothing hilarious about that. There is nothing hilarious.
This is what it was like for 25 minutes.
Here's the thing. You have to look at WWE's track record. How many times have we seen complete ridiculousness get over? Hi, Nicholas. Remember Nicholas?
Yeah. Hi. That was not NXT, and that wasn't Adam Cole.
That's not the point.
Adam Cole. That is not. Don't.
Let me explain something.
Nope.
NXT. Nope. Here's the thing. NXT is not the NXT that once was. NXT now has 5 writers and Vince McMahon being involved. So as a result, NXT is going to be WWE. I see Pat McAfee winning this. I see this being a big hilarious thing, and you completely losing your everything over it.
No. I don't see how this benefits WWE.
And I'm here for it.
I don't see how it benefits Pat. because I think the people that
I
follow
don't see how a
Pat
lot of
don't
things
give two shits about
I
what
don't
he
see
does
how
in wrestling with Adam
poor
Cole.
writing
And I don't
benefits
think wrestling
WWE
fans
right
right now even give a shit. They're
No.
definitely not saying, I really hope that match is qualified. No, they don't give a shit. They're expecting Adam Cole to go in there. There's going to be some shenanigans,
Right.
but Adam Cole is still
No.
going to get away with the win. There is no reason for Pat to hold a win over someone of the caliber of Adam Cole. And if that's what they're doing, I hope he packs up his bags and goes to Japan, AEW, or anywhere else, because this is just disrespect. This is not fun. I don't care. I don't like any. I never like any of these gimmick matches. I never like them, and I definitely don't like it when it's. This is not.
No.
He's not. Adam Cole is not a sideshow. He's not
There's
a mid Carter. He is a
but you're
main
saying-
eventer.
No, but if you look at WWE's track record, they do that all the time with football players.
But this is not a
People who are like raggedy football.
But
Look
this
at
is the
how
thing.
The Rock even got his career.
Who knew? People did that with they did that with football players
One,
that
two, three,
people
kid.
knew. They knew they knew LJ. They knew these people. LT. They knew him. They don't know fucking
McAfee. He has a show and was
he's
like
got a
doing
podcast
things.
that no one gives a shit about until this happened.
No.
Yes,
No.
you didn't even know about it. I remember when you were like, I don't
I
know.
don't
He had some
follow the football like that.
drama with some football guy. There you go. And you know what? You were one of millions of people that said the same shit. No one can. It's not like, oh wow, I know
I
exactly
think
who
Richard
this
has
guy
something
is.
to say, guys.
Go ahead, Rich.
I would like to make a point that I think will completely kill this argument. The reason that Adam Cole is going to win and dominate this match is because the storyline that they're telling you is that Pat McAfee made the comment, well, Adam Cole, you're nothing without the Undisputed Era. They have already told us that storyline or teased the tension with Adam Cole not getting along with everyone else on Undisputed Era. So it doesn't make sense to do that storyline again.
Then that further proves that he's going to lose because Undisputed Era is going to come in and turn against him. Thank you for making my
But
point.
what does that do for him or for Pat?
Yeah.
Unless you keep unless you keep
For Pat,
I don't
it
want to hear it. I don't
showcases
want to
his
hear it.
wrestling
You know,
ability. No,
now
it
I'm
showcases
mad.
his
Now I'm
wrestling
mad. That's
abilities,
it. No,
and it further
I don't give a
proves
shit. I don't
that
care if he can do a
McAfee was right.
moonsault. I don't want to see him in the ring. All right,
further-
here we go. There we go. There you go. Put a mask on. Call him Max Moon. Now you know what? We're moving up to the next match. There's so
I
many
didn't get to
matches.
do my
Hold on,
prediction.
Ricky.
Ricky, you want to go in this? There you go,
I'm
Ricky.
just here.
Go ahead, say Adam Cole, and we can move on.
Oh, Pat McAfee.
I will say that Adam Cole should win, and he probably will win. But I'm predicting that he wins. But there's going to be a part of me that's rooting for Pat McAfee so that we can have an emergency WrestleCast just to hear Adam vent about it. That's all I want.
I'm shit. I'm
rooting-
throwing
I'm-
up in the living room if that shit
Adam
happens.
Cole wins this, but I hope I'm wrong. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, but you know what? There's another match on this card that could get me excited to look past all that, and that is this ladder match, this stacked ladder match that has Reed, Velveteen Dream, my boy Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano. There's a lot going on in this match. This is gonna be a fun match, and I'm looking forward to it. And I had said I just picked my boy Damian Priest. That's it. So what, Rich? You got some?
Yeah, my pick is also Damian Priest. Let me ask a real quick question. So when this match happens, are we going to see Fire Velveteen Dream trending on Twitter?
No.
Absolutely.
You know, we're not gonna go there with that. You know what?
Yeah.
It's allegations, and that's it. So not gonna keep dragging that because that sucks for everybody. You know, it's not even fair. So I hope that doesn't even happen. You know, if WWE don't want to put him in, then they don't have to put him in. If they want to go with it, then that's fine. But he's there to do a job. The guy is still young. Still young. Some shit happens. Shit happens to both ends. There's other things going on. We don't know all the facts. We weren't there. So we just gotta let it go. But he's still in this card. You know, who knows? Maybe he'll pull himself. You know, there's other talks of shit that happened regarding that car accident that he had. There's more to it. There's a lot more going on there. And I think they see that. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and these are the type of things you find out when we watch those Vice stories, you know, behind the wrestler, and we hear some fucked up shit. So,
AEW, the Dark.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's gonna be a good one.
That'll probably be a really good one. You know?
Dark side of
the
ring.
Dark side of the ring.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, but right now, when it comes to just the wrestling, hey, I hope he performs. I wish him all the best. I wish everybody the best, and that it's a good match.
Yeah, and to go back to the point of the match, I once again, Damian Priest. If anyone else wins this match but Damian Priest, I'll be very disappointed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because that
I'll
was then
say-
we talked about it. It was like what that Gargano he's won titles, he's been there. Velveteen he's touched the rainbow, he knows. Reed he's still up and coming, he's not there yet. Grimes he's getting there, he's elevating to that level with the feud that he was having with Priest. So I feel the only person that's past this, that's ready for the next level, is Damian Priest. Because remember, he was part of that whole Keith Lee Dijaks feud that was going on. And that was a high-profile feud that went all over the place. That was touring. That was on the main card. That was also, regarding the pay-per-views, that was a pay-per-view match. So he's already in that regard. So if that's the case, he should win a title. And this would be the best way to win it, to just stand out. Oh man! All right, so then the next one, real quick, Keith Lee. Oh wait, you did do this? You did?
we
Oh Dana!
exist.
Oh god damn! I'm just trying to fly through. We. Oh. All right,
Dana.
Okay.
Dana,
Go
go
ahead,
Dana. Dana, who you got for this?
I was gonna say Damian Priest.
Dana Priest.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say friend of the show, Damian Priest.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, you know what? Friend of the show, Damian Priest. Hopefully, when all the smoke is cleared and everything's settled down, see if we get him on the show. Need to talk to Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Right, we could do that. Dana got all the hookups too, so I'm sure we make some phone calls. All right, another one. We got Keith Lee versus.
Oh wait, hold on. Before you continue with that, what about the pre-show match?
Well, that was the Breeze, Zango, and all that stuff. I'm wondering if that's even that's definitely going to be a pre-show match now that we have the Finn Balor match.
Yeah.
So the Breeze Zango, with the Fantomas.
It's Breezango versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Legado del Fantasma, which is Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. Winner becomes number one contender for the NXT tag belts. I'm going to predict Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch for that.
All right, Dana.
I'm gonna predict Legado and Fantasmo.
All right, Rich.
I'm going to predict and say that I don't care about this match.
Nice,
now.
that's a good prediction. There we go.
Mhm.
He puts a big NA on the checklist there. There you go.
Yeah. But I also did say Legado the other day. So
Yeah, you said
that's fine.
Legado. All right, and I'll go with Breezango. That whole thing. Just give him a win. Get him up there. I remember a long time ago when they had a title ring and a title run over at the main roster. It feels like many years ago. And ever since then, they just fluttered around and just been a comedy act. So it'd be cool if they just seem serious. All right, so the next one is, and I think this would be the last one, and then we could move on to the next card, is Keith Lee versus what you call it? Oh my God, I'm drunk. There's Karrion Kross is all these names, and with Scarlett. With his girlfriend Scarlett. So that's going to be fun just with the entrance. We talked a little bit about whether we like that entrance, yay or nay, because it is kind of long. It's very Undertaker-ish with the light, the pyro, and all that. And now he's got the girl that lip syncs, and they do that whole jazz. So I don't know if this is going to be something we're always going to see, but they make it seem like, this isn't just for pay-per-view events. This is for everything, because we see him doing it throughout NXT for all the episodes. So I'm assuming this is just his entrance. It's just very long. You know who now I think about it that used to have something similar that was pretty long like this? The Narcissist, Lex Luger. Right? Didn't he have where they would wheel him? Remember that when they wheeled him down and then they had his sheet?
The mirror.
Yeah, and then they would pull. Was it the mirror? I remember they pulled the sheet or something. He was bent.
You know who you might be thinking about who had and it's a badass entrance. I've always liked it was Chris Masters.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Kennedy.
Chris, no, he missed it. It wasn't. That's not Mr. Kennedy. Chris Masters is Chris Masters. You're thinking of the Kennedy's a different person, but yeah, you're right. He did because he had it where he was like the thinking man, like a Greek god type thing.
Yeah.
Like remember, and then he would stand up and he would do the pose and the whole thing. Yeah, Mordecai had a cool one too.
Just because he had a cool one, I really like.
I miss Mordecai. That was another cool one. Yeah, but all right. So yeah, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross with Scarlett alongside. This is for the title, the NXT title. Man, I think we went back and forth on this, but I think we all agreed to retain. I think I did, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee
No,
wins.
no. I went
No?
across.
You went
Yep,
cross?
and I also went with Cross.
You went with cross?
My stance is that I like Keith Lee, but I've been picking against him, and I keep getting it wrong. But eventually, I'll get it right.
All right. All right. Oh, wait. You know what? They're right. I think I did also. The reason why I went with Lee is because I'm assuming in my mind, just because he's a big man, is that Vince, regarding Cross, Vince is going to just snag him up and be like, yeah, I'm ready to pluck him. He's got everything I need right now, especially with the Thunderdome. You know, he's got the lights. He's got the girl. He's already got pyro in his entrance. He's a wow factor. He's massive. This is something that can draw attention. No doubt. It could draw attention. But that's what I think. I think that he's going to lose and then he'll just pop up. Because we also got that draft coming in a few months. So
I see Lee on Underground instead.
You see Lee going, oh,
Yep.
really? That's a step down. That's a step down, really. I see Underground
Raw.
No, the
great.
Underground is just a bunch of people messing around and trying to figure out what they're going to do. These are the guys that were doing nothing in the back. And they're like, all right, let's mix it up here. Here, we can start mini feuds. Maybe people will want to see this in a real match. Because that's what it looks like they're trying to do. You know, try to get the conversation
Guys
started.
like Riddick Moss on there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Poof, we blew past this because this, man, we spent so much time yesterday, like in a traditional fashion with these shows. But we have too much to cover now because now we're not even to SummerSlam. We have the AEW. And I think, Ricky, this is going to be you because you got this whole thing got picked up. And you said there was something on this card you wanted to see. So, we got AEW Dynamite. And now this takes place Saturday on TNT. And this starts at 6 p.m., right?
Starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. I believe it's going to be the usual 2 hours. So if you want something and you don't feel like watching any TakeOver pre-show, you could watch AEW Dynamite, and then at 7 o'clock Eastern, you'll want to have 2 screens if you want to catch both shows because they're going to be on at the same time.
Or you can DVR one or just watch the other one on the network when it's done. Yeah,
that is also true.
We got workarounds now. Technology. Remember back in the day, we did not have this when it was just a VCR and you had to watch it or try to record it. If not, you missed it. That was it. There was no VOD. There was none of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we got things good now. Got things good. All right. So talk about this card. What's on here? This AEW.
Okay, so I'm just going to go down the list of what I see from AEW's website and just kind of highlight the matches that are being featured. The biggest one is the TNT Championship match. That's going to feature the American Nightmare Cody with Arn Anderson at ringside, going up against the contender, Mr. Brody Lee with the Dark Order. So that one's going to be a pretty interesting one.
This is for the title?
Yeah, this is for the TNT title.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to pick Brody Lee for this. I will probably be wrong because Cody keeps winning, but I want something different. I want something good for Brody Lee. So he is my pick for that one. Do you all want to make predictions for that?
Yeah, go Rich.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go against Ricky and say that Cody is retaining because there are a lot of people that have been challenging Cody and been very public about saying they want a match. For example, JTG from Crime Time had a viral video in which he wanted to challenge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ryback has also started training and said that he wants to go to AEW and he wants a shot at that belt. And then there's a lot of other indie wrestlers. So I don't think Brody Lee is the person to take the belt off of him. I mean, but we'll see what happens.
I think you might be right, but this is another thing where it's kind of like I'm trying to will it into happening. So, I mean, I just feel bad for Brody Lee more than anything because, like, if he loses this, then he's a complete nerd in terms of booking. So, I don't know, man. Like, you're probably right of Cody retaining, but who knows? Like, they didn't have something.
Yeah, man. The Brody situation with AEW, everything has been sad. It's been really sad, very disappointing. A lot of high hopes. We all had high hopes for him when he left WWE. We're like, this is it. He's going to be able to shine. And I understand he has character creative control. This is him. This is him doing his thing. And it's just not working. It's something about it, whether it's when he delivers his promos or just the matchups, it's just not gelling well. And then putting him in high-profile matches and losing those matches. And here it is, he's supposed to be the leader of this group, but he's not really showing anything regarding being a leader. I mean, if anything, he should have a title to carry. What's going on, Rich? You want to say something?
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, who made that decision to put him in that world title match? Did he say creatively, yes, I want to face John Moxley? I mean, who put him? Who?
Oh no! I'm sure that's got to be the crew, the execs, which consists of the Bucks and Kenny Omega and others. That's not. These guys have creative control over their characters, but I'm sure they can't pick their title shots. They'd be like, all right, I want to make myself champion today, so I will see you in the ring. You lay down, I pin. That's how this works. No, so I have a feeling that we've seen this pattern with a bunch of. We saw this with Lance Archer, and that was our issue with the whole thing with Cody. They do this big rocket push, have him destroying everybody, and then once he gets to Cody, he loses, and then he disappears. It's just like exploding in the air, and that's our concern. That here it is. They hyped up that this guy was coming, this leader. What was the title that they gave him?
The Exalted One.
Exalted One. The Exalted One is coming. The Exalted One. They hinted it was going to be Christopher Daniels. Remember, then there was it's going to be Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy. So no, it turns out to be Brody Lee. I'm like, all right, that's just as good. All right, let's go with this. And then they would do these little video packages where with the eating at the table and all that stuff. Like, all right, where's this going? What type of leader is he going to be? And it just doesn't really fit. It's like they're trying to do cult, but then not cult, and crazy and not crazy.
They made him a parody of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just didn't.
He made himself a parody.
It didn't fit from what they were pushing, at least what they were presenting the Exalted One would be. So then when he finally shows up and he's, all right, this is what my ideas. Okay, run with your ideas. But your ideas aren't meshing with what we already had laid out as a groundwork for this leader and how he was going to be portrayed. So then now you have him in these big matches. Okay, but he doesn't win these big matches. And so where does he go from here? You still have this group. You're trying to get this group over. Well, if you're going to get it over, then he has to win some of these big high-profile matches, even if it's dirty. Yes. Then if that people are like, oh no, what, beat Mox? Then okay, then fine. Then don't even put him in a match with Mox. He didn't need that match. He should have been on a rampage of just destroying and recruiting. That's what he should have been doing until he got into the path of Mox, and then they could have a whole little video package showing all the matches that he's already had, destroying people, converting people, and doing that whole thing. Then it's like, okay, there's a build-up already. There was really no build-up for this. It just happened. And now look where we are now. Now here it is. They have this group with all these members, and it's like no thrill. No one really cares, and so they're trying to make it relevant again in some way. So I don't know. I wish them all the best, but if they really want to continue that group, Brody needs to win that title. He needs to win. Cody's got to drop it. That's it. It does nothing for Cody right now. Nothing for Cody. The whole point of a title, we always talk about that, and this is always, even his dad. Dusty always said, he's like, you put a title to put a spotlight on whoever you want to put a spotlight on. That's the whole point of it. So if you want to get that crew over, you want to get Brody over, put the title on him. Put the title, because then that draws eyes, because even casuals will understand, well, who's your champion? Well, there you go. Put your eyes on that dude with the beard over there with the crew. Oh, all right, he must be some bad mofo. He got a whole crew with him. Let me watch and see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Anybody else have predictions for that match?
I just want Cody Rhodes to go away when it comes to titles. It's not right. And he just squashes everyone. And the matches are really great, but as you guys said, it goes nowhere for the other opponent. Like, remember, even Eddie Kingston, they signed him. Where is he?
Oh. Who knows? Maybe he's getting repackaged. I could see that. Maybe he's got...
Why would you repackage perfection?
Well, let's move on because we got more matches to cover. The 6-man grudge match between the Elite that has Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, Young Bucks. They're going up against the Dark Order, consisting of Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Alan Angels, otherwise known as numbers 3, 4, and 5. I will just go with the Elite because I don't know who those 3 Dark Order guys are.
Yeah, let's go with the Elite. Whatever. That's what I'm saying. That Dark Order, they've been around so long. We should know. We should care about each individual guy at this point, and we don't.
Yeah,
well, we
it's like,
care about some of them.
do we take them as a serious threat or not? And it's like sometimes it's like yes, sometimes it's no. I think it's more towards no at this point, especially now that you have like Colt Cabana in there as kind of somewhat like a comedy act. It's like
that's the worst
that
part
was
of
so
it.
bad.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Sadness.
But I think we all say elite.
Yeah, go with the elite.
Is that what you're going with, Rich?
Oh yeah.
All right, sweet. Let's move on. Tag team competition: FTR against Private Party. Who do we got in this one? I will say FTR.
Now,
Private Party.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to change it to Private Party because they're selling the Dax knee thing. So
what's going on with Matt? Is he still going down to the ringside with Private Party after the whole chair shot thing? Because I know that
I don't believe he is because now he has a feud with Sammy Guevara.
So they're just gonna all right. So they just branched off of that. Yeah, because after he got hurt, I wasn't sure if he was still doing the whole mentor thing with them. You know, but I'm gonna go with Private Party. Just go in that direction. They're young. They were getting the push. FTR is fine, whatever. But let's just throw in a curveball. Private Party needs to win some of these big ones too. So.
How about you, Dana?
Private.
Okay, so we got Private Party all across the board. All right, sweet. We got the Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament Finals, where the cup will be presented by the legendary Medusa. That finals match consists of the Nightmare Sisters, which are Brandy Rhodes and Allie, going up against Diamante and Ivelisse. I am going to go with Diamante and Ivelisse as the winners of this cup.
Lucha Underground crew, come on, do this. Ivelisse, damn right.
Yep.
Ivelisse, absolutely.
So that's a sweep there. All right, last one, 8-man action. We got the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon and Rey Fenix going up against Butcher and the Blade, going up against Jurassic Express, which is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and going up against the Natural Nightmares of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. I will pick for this one the Lucha Brothers.
I'll go with QT Marshall and Dustin. Why not? They were a good tag team, so I could see them continuing on. And QT can get that win. He can get that win that people wanted recently. He didn't get it against Cody, but he can get a win on this level, definitely. So
I agree.
I mean, maybe I'm overestimating the Lucha Brothers because they just seem like they were on the same level as the Young Bucks when AEW started, and they've kind of fallen off ever since, like, you know, Pentagon was away for a while. He just came back, but they haven't really been winning. I'm picking them to get back on the winning side, but
I think the issue that I'm seeing with them is that they're so over that it's to the point that they can help out other talent. They can help out other groups, and they could afford to some L's in their category and not lose any faith with the fans. So I think that's what we see a lot of going on there when we see those losses. So I don't think their stock is dropping. I think they're just, returning the favor. Sort of like when we saw the Bucks doing that a few times. So
that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty much the card for Dynamite for anyone that's interested. So we got lots of wrestling coming up. But I'm going to give the keys back to you, Adam, because we have one more show to cover.
All right, now we can go back to normal pace. So here we go. Here we go. So we have 8 matches. This is it. This is the big boy. Sunday night, SummerSlam, WWE Network, or wherever you watch it. Because I want to just say it's just that, but then we know it's on other sources sometimes with the Fight Network and all that stuff. So who knows? And people still get these big pay-per-views through their cable provider? They can, right? Because I know that there was like 4 of them that still go. I think it was WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam.
Because remember, WrestleMania was $60 per night.
Holy crap! Some outlets, some outlets.
What a rip!
Yeah, if you fall for that, if you fell for that one, sorry. But all right. So what's that? I hear some chaos going on.
It was Fast and Furious outside the window.
There you go, drag racing. Place your bets. Place your bets. All right, so here we go. First match we'll put here. It's a 8th match on this card, but this is the one that received an update from tonight, and that's the Mandy Rose versus, Sonya Deville. Now, this originally wasn't this just like a hair versus hair match, right? That was the original plan, right? But then, of course, there's a lot of things that happened to these two in the real world with the stalker, home invasion. I mean, craziness. This is not a storyline. If you just hear us ranting and be like, what the hell are you talking about? This is some real shit that went down. It was horrible. They caught the guy. He was crazy. He straight up stalker coming into the house, middle of the night, set off the alarms. They go running out. It was horrible. They're okay, though. Sonya Deville, everyone's okay. But yeah, horrible situation. So they sort of mentioned some of that in tonight's episode, bringing that up, right? But then it also looks like Deville just said, "Fuck that! I'm still going with my character." Smacks the shit out of the, everybody just like starts ranting off about like she don't need shit and she's got some shit to say. And what does she say? She basically wants to make this Mandy Rose match not just a hair versus hair, but a loser leaves WWE match. So this is not a loser leaves Raw and like, all right, you know what, this is perfect timing for the draft or whatever. Just go to another show. This is no leave the company. So my question to you guys, before we even get to the predictions, is what's the motive behind this? All right, Damien, it sounds like you're chomping on this one. What do you think WWE is thinking when they say, oh, you know what, let's make this a loser leaves match?
I think that it's because of the recent situations that's going on that we don't know if Sonya will needs to be in court for a longer period of time. She has to find a new place to live. We don't know that and how it crosses into her wrestling schedule. So that could be the reason why.
So you're thinking that this might be that she just needs time off and they're going to get...
Yeah, I mean, regardless.
No doubt, right there. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised. I have to say, I think this would have been... Everyone would have just accepted, and it would be understandable that if she just said, hey, you know what? We're not having this match because of what took place. And everybody would have been cool with it. But the fact that they decide to continue is why I'm just kind of baffled with this.
Why are you baffled?
Because they could have
this
just
is the
said
same company who scooped the blood off of Owen Hart and went on with the next match.
But that's a Carney life. That's it. The people paid to see a show. And you know what? As sad as that sounds, fans would have been booing and got pissed, even if they knew.
Seriously, I don't know.
We've seen it.
We've not seen a death in a ring and people like, we want a show.
No. And if they kick everybody out, I've seen it at concerts where something will happen, a performer will pass out on stage, something like, all right, show's over, and people want their money back. And obviously the venue's not going to give their money back, and that's when shit gets crazy. Because that's what I'm saying. People would say, all right, that's fucked up. Man just died. Hey, I'm on my way out. Can I get my money back? Because the show had pretty much just started, and now, oh, wait, you're not giving my money? Yo, everybody, did you hear? They're not even giving our money. Fucking, that's when you get chaos. So to prevent it, it's just like you can't scream fire in a theater. It's the same shit, especially when there's thousands of people. Yes, it sucks. They didn't hide it. Jim Ross, he announced it. And that was the most heartbreaking thing I had to hear, because I saw that and I saw some of it when it happened, because I was watching the pay-per-view live. And when he announced, he was like, oh, we just found out he was dead. I'm like, what do you do? And they were like, well, we're still going. And from what I understand, the crowd were notified also. But I saw people still there. People didn't just... The
crowd didn't fully know what was going on. They didn't know,
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's complicated when it's a large venue like that. Yes, you want to sob, you're like freaking out, but there's other things going on. But anyway, I was just surprised. I thought instantly when I heard about the stalker and all that stuff, all right, this match is off the card. There's shit going on. They got issues. There's a lot of stuff. It's a traumatic experience. And no, it's still happening. And now we have this new stipulation. So you think this is for Sonya? So that means, in your mind, then Sonya's going to lose, and so she gets.
Can I jump in for a second?
Go ahead.
Isn't it true that Mandy is living with Sonya? And that
he came to kill Mandy.
He came to kill her. That's the thing. They
kill Mandy and kidnap Sonya.
So it could be for Mandy that needs to leave for her protection. For all we know, we don't know. It could be for both of them.
That's what we don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
And here's the thing: is it hair versus hair, and you leave?
No.
It changed. They scrapped it. She scrapped the hair versus hair and made it just leave. It's a no DQ, loser leaves match now. It's not even about the hair.
Looking forward to the hair.
I mean, hey, she could still have a buzzer. If it's a no DQ, anything goes. Go ahead, break out the buzzer. I just don't think that's going to be a part of it. I think now it's.
I think Sonya saying that she doesn't care whether she's bald or not. Pretty much, it's like, okay, well, that takes out any interest in seeing her lose, and getting shaved bald. So it's like, okay, we're going to up the ante here. We're going to make it that loser leaves.
Or Mandy gives her such an ass whooping that just to add some more insult on it, takes the buzzer out and just buzzes her and then kicks her out the back door of the building. I was like, there you go. So now she got a busted haircut and she's out the job. So we could see one of those moments. And then she disappears for a while so she could take her time off. And then when she comes back, she's got a good G.I. Jane look going.
There you go.
So, Rich, what do you think?
They both look like a nice ball.
Yeah, no. There's nothing wrong with bald women. I don't see any issues with that. That's cool. What about you, Rich? What do you think about this match?
So in terms of picking a winner, I was thinking prior to this discussion, I don't really know whatever the plan is for Otis, because Mandy is still involved with Otis, but I mean, they haven't really done anything with Mandy per se. They just kept her in this storyline ongoing with Sonya Deville. And I think right now the higher upside of the two is in Sonya Deville, because I think that Vince and company really likes her. So I'm going to say Sonya Deville is probably going to win this match.
Yeah, I like Sonya Deville. I like her character. She definitely has a presence. Something about her just brings her. It reminds me of Victoria. Remember Victoria? And she was a WWE star way back. But it's the same type of vibe. Something about it. Just like
the best finishing move.
Yeah, she did. She was cool.
Widow's Peak.
Yeah, the Widow's Peak. It was cool. Definitely cool. All right, I think we all had our pick on that one, right? So we're going. No,
wait, no.
Who else?
No.
Didn't we?
No, Adam, come on, man. I'm here.
I thought you jumped in. Didn't we talk about it?
If you guys could see right now, I'm doing like the Obama shrugging gif right now. It's like, what's going on here? I did keep my input about like whether Mandy was living with Sonya, but I didn't actually make a prediction.
Okay. All right. So what do you got for this one?
I am probably going to be wrong about this, but I'm saying Sonya Deville wins only because I can't buy Mandy beating Sonya in a fight. I can't buy it. Yeah. It just doesn't seem real. But also remember that regardless of who wins or loses, whatever, WWE is like with comic books, where in comic books no one really stays dead, no one stays fired. Shane McMahon lost a match where he had to leave WWE, and now he's doing a Fight Club on
programming. And then they sort of pointed that out with KO. He's like, I don't understand how this happened. And then they're like, yep, well, whatever, it happened. Keep going.
Yeah, anyone that leaves, there's nothing to say that they don't re-sign with the company on a new contract, whatever. It's entirely possible that Mandy wins somehow, and that allows Sonya to leave for her legal stuff and then come back later and be like, yeah, I was brought back. But I'm going to say Sonya just because I can't see Mandy winning legitimately in a no disqualification match, but we'll see.
And can I make just one quick comment to piggyback off of what Ricky said? Also, the other thing to remember is this is the feud that has been going on for quite a while, even all the way back to WrestleMania. And of course, in my opinion, even though they got rid of the whole, Mustafa Ali as the hacker or whoever the hell it was, that exposed that, yes, Sonya Deville was trying to set up Mandy and Dolph Ziggler. I look at, Mandy being involved with Otis and Otis winning. That to me was Mandy winning that side of the feud, but Sonya Deville never got her payback. So that's why it makes sense for Sonya Deville to win on Sunday, and then you can just say, well, this is it. This is over between them two.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, I have a feeling this is going to be interesting. Something's going to happen. Something's definitely going to happen to make this interesting with this whole stipulation of loser leaves.
Well, Adam, remember, you'll never see it coming. You'll never see it coming.
Stole my thunder.
Never see it coming. Oh man! Well, this is something that we definitely are going to see come in. That's a Braun Strowman versus the Fiend. We are definitely seeing this coming. So if anybody didn't tune in for tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, we saw the Fiend pop out of an ambulance. So he shows up as Bray Wyatt getting his ass kicked by Braun Strowman. He gets put in an ambulance. It's going up the ramp. It pauses. It beeps, 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 comes back. The cab lights go off. Doors open up. Camera pans away. Pans back. Poof. That's where they do their cut. And we see the Fiend standing there laughing. Okay. There we go. So we know this is happening. But the thing is that my fear with this whole thing with the Fiend is that whenever the Fiend does jump in, besides the moment he had with Goldberg, he is unstoppable. He is Michael Myers. He is Jason. We saw that with the hammer and the whole thing with Seth Rollins and the DQ. You're trying to kill him. You know, all this stuff. And that's my fear now, that we've seen Braun Strowman battle the cult leader, Bray Wyatt, then the Funhouse, Bray Wyatt, and now we're about to see him go against the Fiend. He is not going to win this one. In my eyes, he is not going to win this one. This is where the Fiend gets to win his title back. And what worries me with this is that where do you go from here with this character? And I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean? We've always had these mythical characters, Undertaker and Kane, and how they can take a beating and keep coming back. Yeah, to a point. They had weaknesses. Right? We had the urn for a long time with Undertaker. Remember, if something happened to the urn, there you go. Then he's all distracted and he doesn't know what's going on. That was like the loophole. And then Paul Bearer also was an issue for Kane. That was a weakness. You know, there was things like that. We don't have that for the Fiend. And I have a feeling that Alexa Bliss is going to play a major part in this.
Yeah.
And I think we are going to see a new character, a new form of Alexa Bliss. And I remember for a long time, a lot of people thought she was going to be the Harley Quinn. Remember when that was teased, when she was doing the pigtail look and all that stuff. And they were like, well, that didn't pan out. But could they go all out and make a creepy looking Sister Abigail or something like that with Alexa Bliss? They could definitely do that. I think that would definitely get over too, because she's great on the mic. She knows how to cut a promo. Can she cut a creepy promo? I don't know. But she's good at cutting promos regardless, so I think she could pull that off. So I think that without a doubt, Fiend's going to win. But I think he's going to win not just by being this monster, but it's going to be with the mind games. Alexa Bliss is going to be there. Maybe she'll have a different name. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they won't even go with Abigail. Maybe they'll just pick something all together, something completely new, because they might both work together at the Funhouse. That could be a little buddy system that they have. But regardless, I think that's it. Braun's time is done as champ, and this will definitely set him off back on the track of just being a loner and fighting everybody. They hinted that at the sort of top of this show when they had that issue where everybody from it's Retribution, when they came running down, everyone's fighting and doing the whole thing, and then Braun is there, and then he just starts pushing everybody out. It's like, yeah, what the fuck? What's going on? We're all on this team. No, I hate you all. So he's got other issues, and they're teasing that he's just going to be a lone wolf, no friends. So this will definitely set him off once he loses his title, which I definitely think he's going to lose. All right, so Ricky, what do you got for this one?
I kind of like that. I'm confused as to who's supposed to be the good guy and the bad guy in all this, because like I definitely Braun has been, acting more heelish ever since the Swamp thing happened and all that.
And you notice that Michael Cole and them, they keep emphasizing it changes you. He changes you. Everyone that the Fiend touches changes. We saw it with what's his name, with Cena. We saw it with Seth Rollins, and he came back as a Messiah. Finn Balor, and we saw it. They keep throwing that in our face because they want us to know that, because we're seeing it with Braun.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point there. And the thing with Bray Wyatt is that he's almost like he's almost like an anti-hero. Like he's a heel, but not fully heel. Like in this thing, he's like, it's hard to call him a babyface, really. But Braun Strowman has been more brutal here. I was going to mention that, actually. I was just going to mention that I liked the fan theory initially that maybe Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt swapped bodies in the swamp. And that, like, Bray took over Braun's body and, and all this other stuff.
Wow, that's deep.
That was a pretty deep thing, but that was debunked the moment that you had the Funhouse happen. And it's like, okay, well, that's definitely not Braun in Bray's body there. So there goes that. It was just that Braun Strowman reverted back to his, like, Wyatt family version of himself, it seemed, or like a more brutal version of it. I think it's good that they have Braun go back to heel because I thought he was corny as a babyface. So it's better when he's just, like, messing everybody up and all that. So that's where he's at his best. It's strange having Bray be the good guy in any feud because he's just such a great heel. But that's what we're looking at right now. And like you said, Alexa Bliss is going to definitely play a role in this. I will say that, yes, Bray Wyatt will win that Universal Championship. This was supposed to be the time that Bray had the belt and lost it to Roman Reigns, who, as we know, is still out. But for now, it's like this is a chance for Bray to get that belt back, and that's what's happening here. So yeah, I'm going to say Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, is victorious over Braun Strowman.
The Fiend. Dana, you hyped?
Y'all not bored by this feud?
I want to see where it goes. I definitely want to see where it goes. I feel it's a long build-up. We should have seen an outcome at the Swamp, and we didn't. And then now we're still seeing it drag out from last week and then now to this week. But I think it's coming to an end. I think I don't think the feud is going to be over, but I think we're definitely going to have a better understanding of where these characters stand after SummerSlam.
Here's the whole thing with Alexa Bliss that doesn't make any sense. Physically, she wasn't there at the swamp. She was there, remember, it was like the swamp makes you see what you want to see. And that's how Alexa got involved. But she wasn't physically there, so I'm very confused by her storyline.
Yeah, she was there. What I was confused was it 2 weeks ago? Or maybe it was last week, where she was just sitting in the ring. And the Fiend was walking up to her and doing that whole creepy thing. Like, why is she sitting in the ring?
Because she didn't have any kind of real fear towards Bray, I guess, because of the connection that was made in the swamp.
It changes you. The Fiend changes you. Remember
but that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then that means that she was at the swamp. That's what you were bringing up, and that's what we were trying to figure out. Because I guess that then under that logic, it makes sense.
They're not consistent at all, and it was just. And Nikki Cross was like, "She's not the same." So yeah.
The confusing thing was the Fiend giving Alexa Bliss the mandible claw 1 week, and then Alexa Bliss fawning over him the following week. Like, what the hell was that all about? But go ahead, Dana.
She's drinking a Kool-Aid. She's drinking a Kool-Aid. She likes the bad boy. That's what
she's into that.
She's into that. Exactly. She's like, oh, keep putting your dirty fingers in my mouth. This is how it works. I'm into that. She said it. She starts embracing it. So what do you think?
Yeah.
You think this is all right? So you're not fond of this feud, but
not fond of this. I think it's gone on for too long. I'm bored. Braun Strowman bores me, but I do see Bray winning his championship back, and then we all know somehow Alexa is going to be involved. Maybe she'll end up, running to his side, and they'll become a couple. A duo. I don't really see Bray as like.
Can you see her with the mask? Do you think she's going to get a look, or you think she's just going to be Alexa Bliss?
That would be great if she gets a mask and a whole new look.
I'm trying to remember. There was I can't.
I remember when Alexa Bliss had kind of like a Freddy Krueger type look with her gear when she was with in NXT managing Buddy Murphy and. Who's the forgotten son that I'm forgetting here?
Wesley Blake.
Wesley Blake. Thank you very much. Yeah. She had like for one of the takeovers, she had like a Freddy Krueger looking thing. But I thought that was pretty cool. To maybe run with something like that.
You know what? All right. So Rich, did you pick? I don't think you did. Rich?
No, It's the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. And let me just go ahead and make this quick comment. I don't really care what anybody says. The way they end this SmackDown, complete garbage.
Well, SmackDown was garbage.
It was hilarious. It
Yeah.
was dumb, but it was just hilarious. Like they just dragged on that whole ambulance thing for forever. It's like, okay, you're gonna shout at the ambulance. Why don't you go up to the door and shout? Why are you standing there the whole time? Like
exactly. Just open it.
It's like you're just waiting slow for it to come, like at like 2 miles an hour. But the part that made me laugh was the Fiend laughing at the end. It's just so ridiculous. But
He stuck his tongue out. At least it was clean, but still, it was weird.
I think Vince saw him stick the tongue out once and was like, keep doing that. That's some good shit.
I can't find who I'm looking for. Maybe you guys, I'll bring it up because I was looking for it so I could bring it up, but maybe you guys can. There was a female indie wrestler. I think she's still around. She comes in in a body bag as a zombie. And they open up the body bag and she's like a zombie. She comes out and she fights and then she goes back in the bag and then they carry her to the back.
That's cute.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Oh, man. I can't find her, but and it's definitely not Rosemary from Impact. She definitely comes in. She's like a zombie. They open up a body bag and she comes out and she does her match. And I was like, maybe something dark
Miranda?
like that. Is that her name? Miranda? It's a catch. It's something. Man, shit. I can't find it. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. But anyway, it's a cool gimmick. If anybody's listening, go ahead, look for
I see
it.
something. I think was a Desiderata.
That's it.
From Glam. Does that sound right?
No, she was at Barroom Wrestling. Bar Wrestling. Pretty sure she was.
Nurse Ratchet, maybe?
There you go. Yeah, Nurse. There you go.
Nurse Ratchet. Yeah.
Nurse Ratchet. That was really cool. Something creepy like that. Something not expected. Maybe if, like, let's say, not a body bag, but like a ragdoll look all beat up and she's in a wheelbarrow. And whenever the Fiend comes down, he has a lantern and he's pulling a wheelbarrow with this girl. This like dead body looking in the back of Alexa Bliss. That would be kind of fun.
Well, let me just add this quick point. I believe that what you are describing, what y'all are describing about Alexa Bliss getting involved, I believe you got that teaser again tonight, because when they had the whole segment of Braun Strowman with the dolls, about the whole thing with Braun Strowman going back and forth with Alexa Bliss. They're constantly reminding you Alexa Bliss is a part of the storyline, so she's definitely gonna get involved in this match.
And you also had Nikki Cross expressing her concern about Alexa Bliss's.
Oh yeah, that was a quick little segment too. She was like, "I've never seen it like this. I'm fearful." Blah blah blah. Okay. All right. So I mean, Dana, even if you're not into the feud, something interesting is going to happen at the end. We definitely see. We're expecting some surprise.
Hey.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it, then it'll be uneventful. But this is SummerSlam, so this is one of the big ones. Yeah, what's up?
You'll never see it coming.
Never see it coming. You know what? I never see it coming. If the lights go out and turn back on, I see Vampiro in the ring. I never saw that coming. I never saw that coming. All right. Here's another one that we're going to see twice. I don't know how I feel about this. And according to the card, and it can change, but we talked about this before the show, if it's going to be back-to-back. And this is Asuka's title matches. So now it's been determined from this little match system that they had going on tonight that now it's Bayley versus Asuka first, then the second one is Sasha versus Bayley. I mean, Asuka versus Sasha. Now, what I don't know, if it's back-to-back matches. So if it's just Bayley versus Asuka, and then whoever wins, then ding ding, then we start off for the next one. And well, regardless of who wins, she still gets the next match. So if she loses against Bayley, she still has a shot at Sasha's title after. But is it going to be right after, or are they going to spread them out? Have one at the beginning of the show, have one toward the end. I don't know. Regardless, we'll talk about both of them. Bayley versus Asuka. Is this when Asuka beats Bayley for the belt? Dana, what? You got something on this?
No, absolutely not. It seems if you watch, now again, consistency, we don't know. But Sasha's been doing some big eye looking when it came to the belt. Like you can see kind of like that want and need. So I see her. you know.
Well, and he sort of teased it also today when Asuka started kicking Sasha's ass, and then Bayley goes running and leaves her there. So it's like, all right. So they're trying to hint that it's not all perfect with that couple as a friendship.
Well, no, that's where the eyeballing keeps coming from Sasha's end.
But I think in regards to Bayley's doing such a great job with this heel character, and for so long she was a babyface. She was a babyface even when she was doing things before WWE.
It's really corny.
You think it's corny? I think it works for her. I think it works.
Like a Karen trying to be attitudey.
Even that works because then you still don't like her. That's it. She's getting the heat, even from the Karen. That Karen vibe. That's fine. I think it works for what she's trying to do. So it's annoying. Yeah, it works.
She's annoying you, then she's doing her job.
Exactly. There you go. So I think if she was to lose the belt, a lot of that luster linked around her with this would go away. So I think she should retain. So for me at least, I picked Bayley retaining this belt against Asuka. So what about you, Dana? Since we were just talking about that, what do you think?
Well, yeah, she's gonna retain.
You think she's gonna retain? Okay, Ricky. Sasha,
so
Bayley.
This is gonna be.
Asuka, Bayley.
It's gonna be a spoiler for the other match also, because I am gonna say Asuka becomes from the Empress of Tomorrow to the Empress of Two Belts.
Oh, so she can win both of them. That would be interesting. If they did that. But remember, there was a backlash even when Becky pulled that off, and then even now with Sasha having the belt and Bayley and Ed doing the whole thing. Oh, we have all the gold, and a lot of people being annoyed by that. So then you're just adding to that if you just decide to give Asuka both belts.
I mean, sure, but you remember that even if Bayley and Sasha, they'll lose their belts, and they'll both be angry with each other or whatever, but they'll still have the tag belts, and that'll be the last part of that little. That's gonna be the last thing holding them together before that finally falls apart. So that will be the next thing. So that'll be. So I think that in order for them to focus on that part, they both need to give up those individual belts. So I think Asuka will be the one to take them both.
I'm trying to think. I know that I saw this match type in some indie, maybe it was Ring of Honor, I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever seen it in WWE, where it was a tag team and they just could not get along. So they had upper management agree that they could have a match against each other, and whoever wins then gets to keep the tag titles and pick a new tag partner. And I don't think we've ever seen that in WWE, but this would be a good time to bring that in. If this does happen where they both lose their belts, and like you said, the only connection is that they're tag champs, but now they hate each other, and they want to pick other partners. They don't want to work with each other at all. So it's like, all right, you know what? Then you guys have a match, and whoever wins now becomes a tag team match.
I think what you're more likely to see in that scenario is what we saw when Dean Ambrose betrayed Seth Rollins shortly after winning the Raw Tag Team Championships, is that while they remained the tag team champions, Seth Rollins had to defend the belt by himself because Ambrose was now a heel and not going to defend the belt. And obviously Seth Rollins dropped tag belts that way. So what we may see here is, I feel that eventually what will happen is that when Sasha and Bayley eventually they fall apart, Sasha will end up being the face out of the two, and Bayley will be the one that'd be like, okay, let's figure this out together. We're still the tag champions. Let's go out there, and what will happen? Sasha will come out first, and Bayley will just not come out to the ring, and Sasha will be forced to defend the tag belt by herself, lose, and that'll get her some sympathy, and that's how you do it.
See, I don't want either of them to go babyface. I want them to both stay heels. That's the thing, So, Rich, what do you got for this one?
Can't have it like that.
Right? Can't have it, right? Rich, what do you have for this one? Bayley versus Asuka.
Well, I certainly agree that this is a tough one to predict. I think y'all had a lot of great analysis already, but I kind of feel like one of them has to keep the belt. Now, the reason why I think that Bayley will probably get, because I believe you said this on the last show. It was either you or Ricky said this on the last show. It's going to probably be a situation where Sasha helps Bayley win, and then when Sasha has her match, Bayley isn't there and she loses the belt. Because I keep thinking about the fact that it goes back to this whole two belts thing, it started with Bayley. And Sasha didn't want that until she saw that Bayley had the two belts. That's what made her go after Asuka. And of course, she got it. Okay. So in my mind, the story is Sasha's going to have to lose that belt. And then that's going to lead to her wanting to get back at Bayley.
Or, to go with that, let's say Asuka just gives Bayley an ass whooping. Right, just kicks her ass to the point that she's up. They bring her to the back, and we see on the back screen that she's just laid out there receiving treatment. She can't come out to help Sasha.
That's good. Yeah.
You know? So then when this happens and then Sasha loses, she's like, Bayley, where were you? She was like, I was hurt. I was back. And then they could always swerve later, maybe when when Sasha walks off camera and then they make it seem like she gives a little wink. Like, bullshit. She just didn't want to come out.
Here's what I think, guys. So, I think, firstly, if Asuka was not going to win both of those belts, they would not put her in both matches. You would have Shayna Baszler do the Raw one and Asuka do the SmackDown one. But you have Asuka doing both for a reason. So that's one thing. The other thing to remember is that earlier tonight on SmackDown, you had that time challenge to determine which one of those two are going to defend their belt first. Mm-hmm. And Bayley ended up losing, and we saw Sasha be relieved that Sasha didn't have to defend her belt first. So what's going to happen is Bayley's going to lose the belt, the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's had it forever, so it's time for her to drop it. And after that happens, Bayley's going to be bitter that she had to defend first and everything, and she's just not going to show up when Sasha defends it, and Sasha's going to lose, and they're going to go at each other about it after that, and they'll still be tag champions. And like I said, that's going to be the last thing holding them together until that falls apart. So that's how I see that playing out.
You got it. That's great. Great analysis.
All right. So you know what? So then we pretty much answered for both. There's no reason to go for back and forth because we were just doing the Bayley Asuka, but now we pretty much answered also with the Sasha and Asuka.
What about Dana? Did she give her picks?
She did for Bayley. She did for Bayley.
Bayley.
What about the Sasha one?
I see her winning the Sasha. I see Sasha winning that one. She needs to win a belt. It's about time. And it's not like Bayley is not Asuka. I mean, Asuka is not going to be down the drain in the toilets if she only has one win.
Oh, I think it's cutting out a little bit, Dana.
Yeah, your microphone.
Yep.
Wait, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just simply saying that I see Sasha winning this, and with Asuka, it's not so important or necessary for her to have two belts. It's nice, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, definitely not. All right.
Well, that's why I think that eventually Asuka will drop one of them to Shayna.
Yeah, hopefully Shayna. She needs
underground. I don't think she's.
Yeah, right. She is popping up over there. Damn, that's sad. Hopefully it works out. I just want Shayna to get her due because she had a great run in NXT. She's good on the mic. Everything works. She's what they wanted out of Ronda Rousey, but it's with Shayna. I don't know why. Is it she looks a little bit too rough? That's fine. That's perfect.
It's probably her look.
I see no issue. I see no issue with the look. But, well, here's another. I do have an issue with one of the people in the next match with their look, and that's Dominic over here, Mysterio, with Ray, his dad, versus Seth Rollins, the Messiah, with Murphy. And this is a street fight. Now, explain this to me. A street fight, doesn't that also count as just a no DQ match? Right? What's the difference between a no DQ and a street fight?
There's no difference.
There's no difference.
Hardcore match, street fight, no disqualification, it's all the same.
So then that means this is basically...
I could be wrong because if you have a no disqualification, you might still need to have a pinfall submission in the ring. Whereas in a street fight, it can happen anywhere outside the ring. So because maybe that's the difference.
I always thought the point of a street fight was the last person standing is the winner. Because it's a street fight. In a street fight, you don't go based off of counts. There's no laying on the person for a 3 count. Yeah, no, it's a street fight. I beat the shit out of you. You don't get up. I walk away the winner. So when I see this and it's like, oh, Dominic with his dad and Seth with Murphy, this is going to be a street fight with all of them. All participants, everyone present will be fighting. Right? Do you imagine that Ray's just going to stand by and watch Seth and Murphy start stomping on Dominic? No, he's going to get involved. And you know Murphy's definitely going to get involved. There's nothing holding him back from getting involved. It's a street fight. So
yeah, but still.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah,
and then,
in no DQ is you still need to win in the ring, whereas a street fight, it can be anywhere.
Anywhere, that's what I'm saying. So then anything goes. So then, yeah, we could definitely see everybody involved in this. So we'll see where that goes. But then I saw the guy who does the costume designs for Ray, and he had posted some images of what he finished up for Dominic. So he made his outfit. Looks like Dominic's getting a similar type of outfit. And I'm like, but if it's a street fight, you wear jeans and a dirty shirt. You go in old Dean Ambrose. You're having a street fight. You're fighting in the street. Why you get all dolled up in a new outfit if you're not going to be in the ring? Unless they say it's a street fight, but really it's going to be in the ring. It's not going to be a straight up street fight. They just using the name street fight because it sounds tough, you know. Whatever. But when it comes to this, Rich, what do you got? What do you think's going to happen with this one?
Well, I think that Ricky's plan, the master plan of what should happen, I would love to see that happen.
And what's that? Wait, no, you can't do. What's that?
Let Richard do his prediction first.
All right.
Yeah. I would love to see that happen. So I'll let Ricky talk about that part. But in terms of what is more than likely going to happen, is that I'm guessing that Dominic is going to win. I will say that I think it is very stupid in the storyline. Rey Mysterio comes back, and this Rey Mysterio cuts a promo. I may not be able to wrestle ever again. Moments later, he's beating up Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy with a kendo stick.
There you go. So he can't wrestle. He can fight. That's what he's saying. I can fight.
That right there, this is the horrible writing that is WWE. So I laughed at that and I ranted about that when it happened on Monday night. But I say for Dominic, this is his first match. It makes sense for him to win. And one thing that I will also add to why I think he will win, we have already seen, if you recall, when Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy took out Aleister Black, who we haven't seen since he's been taken out. But when that happened, they teased that Buddy Murphy was a little uneasy to take out Aleister Black. So eventually, I'm not saying I don't know if this is going to happen as soon as SummerSlam and Raw, but Buddy Murphy is going to eventually turn on Seth Rollins and probably turn face. So if Dominic wins this match, that's the starting of the tension between Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy.
But if Buddy Murphy leaves, there goes the whole Messiah cult vibe right there. Because he already doesn't have Authors of Pain for some whatever reason.
He doesn't have.
Part of him.
Well, one of them's injured, I believe.
Again?
Yeah. He doesn't have Authors of Pain, and Austin Theory has been suspended. So that's why I said it's it kind of feels like that. And we also know that Seth Rollins is going to be a father in December. I don't know if that means he is going to try to take some time off, but I would assume that if he is going to take some time off, then they probably are going to be winding down this Messiah thing soon, at least later in the fall time. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think Dominic wins because for him to lose...
It's his first match. This is his first official match.
And it's on SummerSlam, so that's a pretty big deal. They want to get people's attention, so I think you can't have him lose the first match.
All right. Yeah. So Ricky, what was it that he was going off of that?
So I say Dominic wins, but not the way you think. You'll never see it coming.
Never see it coming.
I think the way he wins is by betraying his father and letting Seth Rollins. I think that Dominic has already been brainwashed by Seth Rollins, that him getting hit with the kendo sticks repeatedly was kind of an indoctrination. like him getting like his test,
Yeah.
Hazing.
his hazing and everything. I mean, that was basically his hazing for skipping developmental, but that you can say as his hazing to joining this cult, because like Seth Rollins is he's supposed to be a leader of a cult, and right now his cult has just one person. You need to have someone else in there, and they have
It's a lonely
subtly.
cult.
It is. It very much is. And if you want to take him seriously, you need to see him having powerful.
Now, we
effects.
thought this was going to be the outcome even before this match, right? This is something we talked about, that he was going to double-cross his father. Even before the whole eye situation, before that match,
Right.
we thought it was going to happen. And they just keep pushing it and pushing it. So you think this will be the time?
I thought that was going to happen before the eye for an eye match, and they didn't go with that. Like Dominic wasn't even there, but it's just this whole thing that I pay close attention. Like maybe I overanalyze these things. It's entirely possible, but I look at the whole thing with Ray continuing to tell Dominic, like, you don't need to fight my battles. I got this. I'll take care of you, and all this stuff. And you may get Dominic to a point where he's just like, no, Dad, I'm my own man. I can fight whatever battles I want. You can't tell me what to do. And it's just, like, I'll just say, like, there was, I think I mentioned this before, the eye for an eye match, that there was one point where Rey Mysterio was in the ring and Dominic was behind him. And Seth Rollins was coming out. And I'm like, where have I seen this before? And that was when Seth Rollins was standing behind Roman Reigns right before he hit him in the back with the chair. I was like, I've seen this. I have post-traumatic stress,
PTSD on this. Yep, you've seen it.
And so it's like, so I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop. And so you didn't have this happen at Extreme Rules, but SummerSlam is a big event for big storylines. And if you want Dominic Mysterio to be more than just Ray's son, you got to have him doing something significant.
Well, and I think this is one of the reasons I think when we were hinting that this would be the logical choice. It's just you have a wrestling partner that's going to take care of Dominic and just groom him in the ring. Who better than Rey Mysterio? There you go. He's like, you know what? He's worked with all types, and obviously Dominic is not the same high flyer type. He's a different type. So he's going to teach his son live in front of all of us. So yeah, it makes sense if they have like a long-standing feud and we just see these matches. So that's when it makes sense on that level to do it.
Because look at it this way. Let's say I'm flat out wrong, and let's say Dominic Mysterio remains a babyface. He wins this match with Seth Rollins. Feud's over. What's left for Rey Mysterio? What's left for Dominic? Are they just going to be father and son tag team working together? That would get boring very quickly. It would be like getting Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., but for multiple seasons or something.
So, hey, can I make one quick comment? Because then you can give a rebuttal and then get Dana involved in this.
Yeah. Well, Dana's big on this because remember, she's a Super Ray fan. She's got the mask.
Yeah. So I like everything that you said about him turning on his father. What I personally think would have been a lot more savage is if you really didn't have Rey Mysterio do any physicality whatsoever. Like he said in that promo, I don't think I'll ever wrestle again, because then for him to get attacked by his son and he's already said, "Oh, well, I can't wrestle again," that would have made his son come off as even more vicious as a heel if you went in that direction. But they can't do that now because Rey Mysterio was also beating down Seth Rollins. So, but I like what you said. I want that to happen, but we'll see what happens.
I can just see it being, again, like, I'm just seeing this in my head of like Dominic picking up a kendo stick with Ray in the ring and it looks like he's going to swing at Seth, and he just turns around and just whacks his father and just stares at him, just continues to beat him down. And then Seth smiles, looks at Dominic.
Then he pulls out both his eyes. You got no eyes, Poppy. No eyes. And then they put all the CG work, and we just see like 2 holes, and it reminds me of Johnny Depp in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And it's just like blood. and then it fades to black. That would be fucking crazy.
Well, here's what happened. He'll lay down for Seth for the pin and all that stuff, and then he'll drop the Mysterio name and just be Dominic.
Can he even use Mysterio? Because remember, Mysterio, that's not his name. That was his instructor's name that he carried on. Can he pass that along?
If Ray can use it, Dominic can, and that's actually what they're. He's Dominic Mysterio. That's his name in WWE right now. They can always just omit that Mysterio part and just have it just be Dominic. Of course, what does that do for Dijakovic? Because he's Dominic Dijakovic. He would just have to become Dijakovic. And I should probably stop talking because I'm probably giving Vince ideas. But I'm going to say Seth Rollins wins because of some fuckery from Dominic.
All right. Dana, this is it. This is the match you've been waiting for. This is your boy Ray. Long-time super fan over here with the mask. First time I met you in '86, you had a mask on. I didn't know you were a girl. But now I know, so hello. And what do you think is going to happen here? Is this a passing of the torch to Dominic? Is he the future?
Sorry, I was muted. I really hate the fact that this is coming so late. And I would have appreciated it if it was like, the next pay-per-view after when he lost his eye. But in regards to this, it was booked terribly wrong. But I hope that Mysterio Jr. ends up winning. Because here you have a guy who lost his eye, and then his son tried to restore the family name and dignity, and then he loses. I feel that it would be more impactful if he wins this whole thing and Seth Rollins can move on to whatever the next feud is.
But what would be next for Dominic? That's the thing. So let's say this, like you said, this ends. Seth Rollins moves on. Where does Dominic go?
Like Seth would move on to Alistair. We know about that. But
no, it would be Buddy.
Oh, so you think that... So he's still feuding with them, though. Buddy is... If you're saying Buddy, then you're saying Seth.
Buddy. And I can see Seth being out of the picture and it being like an independent feud. Just because, remember, it was Buddy who tried to blind him. Remember? And then Aleister Black wouldn't save the day. So
now, you brought up Aleister twice, and is it possible that Aleister joins the Messiah?
Yeah.
I mean, was just thinking that. Yes.
They can tag team the thing next.
Yeah. He brings him in. You know what? He brings him in. He's part of the cult. Then something happens to Seth, and while he's out on maternity, it's Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy continuing the Monday Night Messiah story.
I mean, what she's doing December, so yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. That's it. Reproducing.
Well, here's the thing: is that December, it's around Christmas time, and then you have a month from there until the Royal Rumble. So you could always just have Seth Rollins take that month off and then come back at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I didn't even give my prediction with this, but you know what? I'm just curious to see where everything goes. I don't see a wrong way either way. I don't see if it works out that Dominic wins. Okay. If Seth Rollins wins and they do a total beatdown of the two, that's fine with me. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do agree. I think there's going to be a swerve. I think this is too cut and dry on paper. The fact that it says street fight, anything goes. I think we're going to see a lot of craziness. I wouldn't be surprised if Aleister Black jumps in on this just to get him into the mix. He's already sort of in the mix because he saved Dominic and Mysterio a few times. So, what was it, Rich?
Oh no, I just was going to say, since you and Dana brought this up, I absolutely would love if Aleister Black returned as a heel and joined that faction. Because then you would know, okay, maybe they are trying to do something with Aleister Black. Because you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
How they treated him so far.
Yeah, he just runs in. It's a weird, like he's in limbo. He's out of the closet that he was in, hanging out. Remember, for the longest time. It was so bad. That's a whole other topic on Aleister Black. I wish they just fix him up and just whatever. All right, so now we
guys, before we go to the next match, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just thought of something. And I want to get your opinion on it. going way back to when we talked about Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
You know who's not on the card? Otis, who is the current Money in the Bank holder. You think that's the night he cashes in?
Wow.
Oh,
That would be a big swerve if he would cash in, especially after that. Can you see him cashing in on the Fiend?
no.
Oh, you mean Braun Strowman?
I can't even see that. I definitely could. That would no. And
Well, yeah, Braun and Bray will destroy each other, and you know that's the other thing. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but that's the other thing we didn't really get into. You know, some of these matches are not going to end clean and get a full finish because Payback is next week. So keep that in mind also. But continue.
No, I was going to just say I see him being too involved with the whole Mandy Rose thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because that could be it. Maybe, let's say Mandy Rose is the one that loses. So then Otis is there to carry her away and take care of her. So then he leaves. So then that rules out that possibility of him cashing it. Because he left the building. We saw him leave the building. So there goes that. All right, so now 3 matches left. And that's it. SummerSlam is done. And we'll see about this match right here. Apollo Crews versus MVP for this title. This United States title that was in limbo. 1 minute it's legit, then it was a clone, then it's not, then MVP just claimed it as his. It was a lot of shenanigans, due to some real world issues. But whatever, this is the match we have. Apollo Crews, right? Why? MVP doesn't need it. MVP is the leader of a faction. Let him run his house and do that whole thing. If you strip Apollo Crews, then all this time and work that they put into him is for nothing. Unless he strips him, he wins, and then he puts his hand out and says, you still have a home with us, and then he merges him into the Hurt Business. Dana, you side. What you got on this?
I have boredom.
Nice.
I've never
Nice.
two group of people. First of all, I'm confused. It wasn't last time we saw MVP. He was running WWE Underground.
He's got he was running it in the sense that he had the biggest dogs to the fight, and that their guys would kick everybody else.
No, it was supposed to be like a faction, and he owned it, and it was just weird.
No, he said he was.
Hold on. Let me just say this real quick. Dana's 100% right, and that shows the inconsistency of WWE storytelling. Because you remember that at the end of that first episode of Raw Underground, it said, "Yes, we're the Hurt Business, and now we're running Raw Underground." Then we ain't seen them on Raw Underground since.
See, but I didn't take it in that respect. I took it as, you know what, he saw that this is where all the action was. Well, there's no real action until the Hurt Business is there, because as you saw, his guys came out, Lashley, Shelton, and they just beat the shit out of everybody there. So it was like, you know what, we are here, we are the show, you pay attention to us. That's the way I took it. I didn't take it as literally like now we're going to be managing this place and we're replacing the dancers on stage 2 and we're going to... No, I just thought it was like, you know what, we saw all this attention being pointed in this direction, so I'm bringing my boys over here. They're going to beat up everybody that you were watching now, which they did, and just represent that they're here, meaning relevant.
I suit you, man. Go ahead. Continue, Dana.
I just can't see. WWE at times is very literal, and then they just drop their literalness. MVP, I don't know why he's there aside for his kid, and that is
take it easy.
Something. He's like, I wanted my kid to see me as a wrestler. I'm like, DVDs work.
But you are the worst. Listen, the man can still go. He's still in shape. He can still wrestle. He's good on the mic. He serves a purpose. He serves a purpose.
I want to see you.
What do you mean you don't want to see him?
Goldberg, in a technicality, can still go.
No, he can't.
Do we want to sit through another Goldberg match?
No, he can't. No. He could do a street fight. We could put him in that Dominic and Seth match, but he can't do a regular match. MVP can still do a long match. He can still work a match. He knows how to tell a story in the ring. He's on a different
Yeah,
level.
but then
You
fine.
can't put
They're
that now.
booking him wrong, and I have absolutely no interest in it.
See, there you go. I
Book
disagree
it
because
better where
I'm
he's
very,
not
I'm
boring
very
me.
happy with MVP. I'm glad that he has a job full time.
You're
I appreciate his. I appreciate his role that he's playing and what he's trying to do with the talent. He's trying to help bring all of them up, not just manage one, which is awesome. That's something they should have did with Paul Heyman when he kept saying a Heyman's guy. Remember that? They were going with that for a while, and it just became very singular. It was all Brock. What happened to the crew? Where we were supposed to get a bunch of Heyman guys and gals. You know, that was the whole thing, right? Tease for the longest time that Ronda was going to be part of that. Or Shayna. Come on now. No, but at least we're doing it and seeing it with MVP. So we have to be thankful for that. So I'm happy with this.
I don't see it.
All right, Rich, what about you? What do you see with this?
Well, what I see is, let me go ahead and say, I'm glad that MVP is getting his money, but I really don't care about this feud. I don't know why this is on the card, because we saw that they literally just had a match on Monday Night Raw for the title, and of course, you know, that was when Apollo Crews won the match. You know, I understand that, you know, he was out. You know, they said he was out, but he probably really did have the virus, and that was why he was unable to compete because he had to quarantine. But it's fine. But to me, the two things, there are two matches that I think would be a better match than this. You have Apollo Crews go against Bobby Lashley because it appears to me that's what the path I thought they was going down, what they was going to eventually get to. Or, and this would be, in my opinion, a far better match, Apollo Crews versus Ali versus Ricochet in a triple threat for the title. Because these guys, they are too talented to not be utilized whatsoever on this particular card. It's just ridiculous that
They're
Ricochet...
going to be on the card. They're part of the whole rebellion group. They're under the mask. They're running around causing havoc. Retribution. That's what they're doing.
Well, I don't know. Well, Retribution will be at SummerSlam. You know, we'll get into that at some point. But
what I don't understand, just because it's my own fault for bringing this shit up, but you brought up with how come not one person decided to just, while they were beating on them, especially tonight, just pull a mask off of one of them?
Yes.
Well, hey,
or have security that actually can do security.
Yeah, it's like shit. You got all these guys in the ring. You see, there's one of them. There's got to be at least one you can grab and pull a hood off of.
Well, you know, since you decided to continue talking about Retribution, I just want to say, because I said it on the last podcast, but we had audio issues. The Retribution storyline has been complete garbage. And you saw them get beat down tonight and didn't return. I actually thought that when the show was ending, they were going to come back and attack the people as they were watching the ambulance back up. Because it's like because when they started the show, Retribution got involved in that whole thing with when Braun Strowman and the Fiend were at the ring. So in storyline, in telling and tying up a loose end, a story, it would have made sense to come back to that again, where they showed up again at the very end. But once again, the inconsistency that is WWE, they just said, well, they got beat down for tonight, so they're no longer a threat, which I think is lazy. But to go back to the topic at hand, yeah, Apollo Crews wins. I mean, MVP has nothing to gain from this. He can continue to make Apollo Crews look good, and you can't use the excuse that something happened because there's no interference. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are banned from ringside, so I think it's pretty obvious, in my opinion, that Apollo Crews is going to win this match, or there's going to be another member revealed to be a part of the hurt business that interferes in this match and helps MVP win. That's the only thing I could think of. And that person could be, no, I don't know who it could be, actually. But yeah, that's it.
Who's Cedric Alexander?
I was just thinking that, but Cedric is now involved with Shelton Benjamin back and forth because they have him going after the 24/7 title, so probably won't be Cedric.
It's whack. Well, I don't know. I just think the end result is Apollo Crews is going to get gobbled up into the Hurt Business. Because after this feud, he has nothing else going on.
I don't think so. I will say for my prediction that Apollo Crews has the wrong opponent. It should have been Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
MVP's already had 1, 2, maybe 3 times to go for this. No one wants to see him continue doing this. Like, he's the Bobby Heenan of his group.
He's the
Bobby Lashley's the Andre of that group.
What?
Yeah, don't hate on Bobby.
Did I stutter?
Bobby, you're probably listening to the show. Maybe you're busy, but if not, disregard Dana's comments regarding you. We look forward to having you on the show again. Thank you.
He is the Eugene of the group.
The what?
Don't worry, I'm editing that out. Let's move on.
But yeah, Apollo retains.
Apollo retains. All right, yeah. Let's all wish the best for Apollo. Won't happen. Okay, we have 2 matches left. We have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. The Street Profits are the champions. This is for the Raw Tag Team belt. And so this is just a tag team title match that no one seems to care about. They've really been trying to push this storyline in weird angles with the bringing in the woman from the Bachelorette or Bachelor. I don't know where she's from, but she had the pose. And
Bachelorette.
yeah, and it's just going in that whole direction. And then at some points they would have the Viking Raiders involved, and they were doing those weird segments, the film segments, remember, on prior events. And so now I don't know what's going on with these 2 teams here, if it even matters. But this is a tag match. It's for the title. So, Ricky, are you even interested in this match?
Not in the least. It's shitty writing. It's a shitty feud. I just don't care about it. I'm going to say that just because I don't believe that we're going to see everyone drop their belts, I'm going to say Street Profits retain. Because remember that Andrade and Angel Garza are still teasing tension between each other. And just because they were able to nab a number 1 contendership doesn't mean that everything has been solved. So they will eventually feud, but we'll say Street Profits retain.
Street Profits. All right, Dana?
Why are we? I don't like this feud. This feud has been going on forever, and it goes nowhere. Remember when they were playing like basketball games and
That's
horse?
what I'm saying. They were doing a lot of dumb shit. They were playing golf, but then, like you mentioned, a lot of dumb shit. But then we also got Viking Raiders. They were part of that, so I'm sure they'll interfere in this. But keep going.
But yeah, no. There really isn't anywhere. I mean, this is between Andrade and Angel, with Street Profits, Andrade and Angel Garza. I do feel that the Street Profits will retain. I just feel that they don't have any place to go at the moment, and Andrade and Angel can, have maneuver even more. So I don't have any problem between that. And plus, also, from what we've seen, Andrade and Angel don't seem to get along. They're feuding with each other. So it may end up becoming that they end up fighting with each other in the middle of the match, and that's how Street Profits win.
I could go with that. Rich, what do you got for this one?
Yeah. I think Dana just took the words out of my mouth. Street Profits will retain, and right after, either during or right after this match, that's it for this Andrade and Angel Garza team. They will break up, be a physical altercation, because from my standpoint, the upside, even I hate to say this, but it looks to me like they have a much higher upside for Angel Garza than they do for Andrade right now. So it's going to happen, and it's going to be very clear at some point in time. But yeah, Street Profits will probably retain because, yeah.
I see that too. I don't see a clear path if they go with Garza and Andrade. Where does that go? Because, there's all kinds of issues that they're already having. So it doesn't make sense for them to get the belt and then what? Then just fight and break up? And then we're Viking Raiders in all this, besides an underground beating people up. Like, what's going on? In fact, one of them was doing a singles match last week or earlier in the week. So, who knows? So, anyway, that's a forgettable one. And it's a shame because the quality competitors, it's just the story. That's packaging. That's the problem. It's the packaging. It just doesn't entice us. We don't care. But this one, we do care. This is it. Main event. Last one. Drew McIntyre, the champion, versus Randy Orton for the title. This is it. This is it. Part of me wants to just say, yeah, Drew's definitely going to win this. Because they want to, if we go based off of all the Dave Meltzer and all of them, and everyone's saying that, no, Vince wants to see Drew as champ in front of a live crowd. But the thing is, as that window starts expanding, we don't know the next time we're going to be in front of a live crowd, or even be part of a live crowd to participate in. We don't know. So you can't keep setting that, because that goalpost is going further and further back. So what do? I think right now, with the Thunderdome layout, that could be a good read. I think regardless, I was watching, all right, for example, I was watching the Royal Rumble 2020 that happened in January. That was the most recent one that live event. I'm trying to remember that massive event with the reaction for Drew. He got a massive reaction. So I think it's safe to say that the reaction of him as champion would be just as loud. I don't question. You question? I don't question. I'm just saying. I don't question, to quote, WWE propaganda, that the universe would just all of a sudden start booing McIntyre if he came out as a champion. If we were to go back into arenas, I think they would all cheer. I think they're all for him. It's not like a Roman Reigns situation. He'll come out and then people boo the shit out of him. I don't think Drew is going to have that issue. But we also know that they favored Vince. He favors the whole thing going on with Randy Orton. Randy Orton has always been a safe bet. He's a great worker. He knows how to cut a promo. He knows how to get a story over. But do they want to take the belt off of Drew to put on Orton? Is that a good move right now with how things are in the state of wrestling in WWE land? Because then it feels like we're shortchanging Drew, because he never really got that title run that we all wanted to see. But then we got Randy Orton. And if he steps over Randy Orton, where do you go from here? So I want to just be the safe bet. It's going to be a quality match, but I see Drew winning this. Drew has to win this. I want to see Drew get to, hopefully whenever that window happens, that we're back in live audiences and live events, sold out venues, so that way he can get that moment. He deserves it. The guy has worked hard. If anyone's on the network that's watched any of that Evolve stuff, seeing when he showed up after leaving WWE, it's like night and day when it comes to his physique, the work he's put into himself. That's a lot. And you can tell mentally he's on a different level. Like, that was a serious wake-up call for him. And he's living every moment like it's his last moment. He's very appreciative. We hear it all the time. He wants to run with this and carry the ball. And I hope he does. At least to get to that point. So that way we can let the people decide. Because right now I'm nervous with all the reactions and counter reactions that Vince and them are doing with the creative team, and then firing. And we saw with the birth of Raw Underground out of nowhere and all this craziness going on. And then with Retribution, they're just throwing a lot of shit at the wall. Okay, but don't throw taking the belt off of Drew and putting it on Orton to see if that does anything for the ratings. I don't think that will. I think we have to just stick by our guns, or at least for them stick by the guns, sort of the way USA Network. Remember, they were cool with a lot of some of these new changes and the new guard, per se, of taking over the wrestling guys. Let Drew run as champ. Give him his time. Because if not, you keep going to the quote-unquote safe bets of these legendary characters like Randy Orton's and stuff like that. You can't do it. You can't keep relying on them. You have to let the newer guys, even though it's crazy to say that with Drew, he's not new. But in this level, he is. So if that's the case and you want to build new stars, then this is how you do it. You have to give them the ball, and they have to run for a while with it. Good or bad. And I think it's been all good, regardless of just because of the current situation. But I think his matches have been good. They've been entertaining. I've liked his matches. So I'm all for Drew. Dana, what do you got?
Bless your heart.
That was my soapbox. Thank you.
I really am. I feel so sorry for Drew. because he doesn't deserve this. He deserves a full crowd, and he deserves all the cheers. This is just a really terrible spot he's been placed in. And in regards to the upcoming pay-per-view, this is going to be in the Thunder, which we just witnessed how the... No?
No, we hear you. It cut off for a second. But we hear you.
Your mic got cut off.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is going to be in the Thunderdome. And as we saw from last night, unless literally some kind of miracle happens and Jesus comes and blesses the audio and tells them how to actually run this show properly, it's going to be screwed up. Even with, the cheers and the applause, it's going to be that recycled loop.
Maybe. Well, it depends. We have to be vocal. I'm sure that the universe. I haven't seen social media, but I'm sure they're vocal. It's like, hey, what's with the Nintendo audio pumping, and all that. They can tweak that. I believe they can tweak that part.
But here's the thing. I kind of feel that they are muted. This is what it feels like they're muted and they're just creating sound.
So all right. So are you saying? So do you think? All right. So you're saying that you think that the wrestlers don't hear anything? That it's just silent.
No, I think that the wrestlers hear the noise from the speakers that's being pumped into the arena. I think that the people who are on the screens are muted.
Oh, of course. You can't have them. That would sound horrible.
Yeah. So all you just see is
somebody's
people
mom screaming in the back. You want your hot pocket now? No, we don't need that.
So it's not the same. It doesn't have that kind of...
No, it's never going to be the same. But they need they need to just update their soundtrack. That's all. They have to update that for each individual wrestler. That's it. I think it'll be okay.
But see, it's not genuine. You're trying to
but all right, so if you've ever been on stage, once you have... It could just be a handful of eyes. You want to do your best because you're like, well, people are watching me. And I think that's the same that's going to happen with these guys. Yes, it's empty. Now they don't even have their peers banging on the plexiglass anymore. But when they pan out, they see this screen, the massive screen, and they see all these little faces staring at them. They know that's not just screenshots. Those are people. So that's going to trigger...
the people who are asleep and dead.
What? In many cases, the same person multiple times.
The same person. So it can just terrible. So I just feel that the situation is terrible for Drew, and I wouldn't have a problem if they had him drop and then return back to it later when we have fans.
I don't trust that at all. We've seen these type of weird transitions before, or even if someone gets hurt, you lose your spot. You snooze, you lose. All it takes is for someone to come in at the right time, right, and then it doesn't matter. And then when it's like, hey, you want to revisit the whole thing with McIntyre? We got this other thing going on with Riddle, and that's been catching fire. So we'll get to it. And next it doesn't happen. And next you're RVD, and you're just gone. RVD, they had all kinds of stuff, and he even said it. There was so many points where he was supposed to be the man, and whether it's Triple H or other reasons, it just never got to that point. Why? So I just don't want something like that with Drew. Drew, he's touched the brass ring. He's got the gold now. He just has to keep doing what he's doing. And hopefully things just get better. The ratings, I'm sure this week's ratings are going to be up, regardless, just because of the interest. It's going to be up. Now, if it stays up, that'll be fine. But then again, it may if the numbers go up after this SummerSlam and Drew drops the title, that's not a good reflection, because then I don't want Vince to get an idea, or even management, or see, there we go. We just needed to put the title on a recognizable face, established face. That's what people like. They like stability. They like who they know. Isn't that the whole thing? It's like, that's why you bring back Hogan's and all those, because you bring back who they know. Whether they can still work or not doesn't matter. But people like to see familiar faces. So.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, but wait, one more thing. If he does win, and there is the rumor of Roman coming back, I would like to see him challenge him at the end of the match.
I would like to see that too. I would like to see that too, and I would like to see Roman come in as the heel. The laughter almost popped my ear. Man,
sorry about.
No, I'm just saying. It's just you were so excited for that, but because you think it won't happen, but I think it will. I think this would be the perfect time because once he comes back, we have a babyface as the champ. It's just the way it is. You're not gonna flip Drew. They put all this time into making him. You're not gonna flip him for what? For Roman? Oh well, you gotta go heel now because Roman's coming back. That makes no damn sense. Let him bring it. Let him bring it. So all right. So while you're doing that, Rich, what do you got on this one? Who's gonna win?
So yeah, I like Drew McIntyre. It's unfortunate timing for Drew McIntyre. But with all due respect, I think Randy Orton is going to be the champion on Sunday night.
Oh, shit.
And I say that because, again, no one has brought this up. The storyline they have been telling you is just Randy Orton is just unstoppable. They bring other people on the show just so he can RKO them, just so he can punt them.
Yeah.
You had Shawn Michaels get RKO and punted.
Who no-sold. That
week.
Was horrible. That pissed me off. Let me get right back up. I'm okay.
Absolutely, I agree. No sold. You had Big Show get taken out. You had Ric Flair get taken out.
But then there's one thing in common. These are all older guys. They're not Drew. Drew's not on that caliber. He's in his prime. He's good to go.
This is true, but in true storyline fashion, in which is why I could be 100% wrong. But if WWE cared about telling a story. The storyline is that all of this started with Orton after what happened with Edge. And we already know that Edge is, obviously, he had his surgery, he's recovering. But the plan is, I believe, when Edge comes back, he's going to be, once again, have another match with Randy Orton. That could very well be a title match.
Oh, but that's like close to a year or more. That's time. That's time away. That's way down the road. Yeah. The only upset to all this is that Drew can just say, hey, yeah, you're a legend killer, but I'm no legend. Because he's not. He's not a legend on that stature, and he's also not a legend in regards to age. So go ahead, punt a Ric Flair and a Big Show and everyone else, and Shawn Michaels, these guys. No, but you can't do that to Drew, and he's not going to steamroll him. He's going to, that's it. So.
Yeah. So the thing is that Drew McIntyre could still win, obviously. But one thing I will say, though, this does not feel to me like it's a one and done type of match. So it will continue. If Drew McIntyre loses, he has to get his rematch. If he wins, it's going to be maybe because disqualification or something happens, and they're going to have to fight again. Because I feel like what you're doing with Randy Orton now, to build him up just to have a SummerSlam match, I kind of feel like this is going beyond that, because who else is in a position to challenge Drew for a title right now? You had Kevin Owens lose to Randy Orton also. So that's why I'm saying, unless you're going to bring in someone else from NXT or whatever on to Raw, it feels like Randy Orton is going to be in that title picture for a while.
Well, that could be it. That could be your boy Karrion Kross. What was it that tagline? Anything can happen, or expect unexpected.
You'll never see it coming.
You'll never see it coming. So it could be that. That could definitely be, because it has to be someone big. It has to be someone big, because Vince just likes big guys. Who? What?
Big E.
No.
Keith Lee.
No, because Keith Lee, maybe if Keith Lee drops it, but I still don't see that. I don't see that. If anything, it would be an established name like Brock. We could see Brock definitely pop up, and they'd be like, you know what, it's time for me to it's time for my rematch.
Let's edit that out of the script. Thank you.
Because if not that, then it's got to be a surprise. But again, and because I know Dana, you were talking about it before, of how with the whole Pat thing and how WWE likes to stick to their scripts and how things run. If that, under that logic, then whoever the surprise is going to be is not going to be a new face. It's going to be an established name face, and the biggest one out there that I could think of that could return. Not thinking even it would be Brock. I don't really see Roman. Roman, he's got other things going on. But yeah, he could definitely be it, but definitely Brock.
And also, Roman Reigns, for all we know, is still on SmackDown.
Yeah.
We already know
Yeah,
that last year they wanted Roman Reigns to face Bray Wyatt, but then the plans changed because Goldberg came in. So,
yeah.
yeah,
How would they explain that? How would they explain that he's on Raw now?
yeah. So he's still on SmackDown until further notice, until we know. But we'll see what happens. But there has to be some type of surprise that happens.
Yeah.
This is not just like a straight up, okay, Drew McIntyre wins and that's it, or Randy Orton wins and that's it. Something is going to happen.
Yeah, there's going to be some fallout because, as we know, Payback is a few days after, right? It's next weekend. So some of these are going to roll over into rematches. It's just going to happen. You know, you can't create new storylines within a week. Not that fast. All right, Ricky, this is you. This is it.
All right, yeah. So, all really great thoughts here. I'm gonna echo the sentiment as far as the way Randy Orton is being built up cannot be ignored. He is the top heel in the company right now. He's been going through everybody, and he put Edge out of commission and everything. And we all know that the end game for that is going to be Edge versus Randy Orton, possibly at the next WrestleMania, with something big at stake, such as the WWE title, perhaps. And that would be unfortunate because that would mean that Randy Orton would hold the belt for a very long time up until then. But that's something he's done before. If you remember his feud with Daniel Bryan, that lasted from SummerSlam until WrestleMania 30. So they've done this before, and they seem to do this every 3 or 4 years or so, where they give a monster push to Randy Orton. And to Orton's credit, he's been nailing it. He's done an excellent job with his new version of the Legend Killer. That being said, Drew McIntyre, to me, it's like he is a unicorn, and I mean that in the sense that he is a badass, believable babyface, and a legit. He looks legit. He carries himself like a champion. He's my favorite babyface champion since Dean Ambrose from 3 years ago. I keep saying Dean Ambrose. He's John Moxley now, but in the WWE brand, he was Dean Ambrose. Anyway, Drew McIntyre. I've really enjoyed his run, and it really sucks that he missed out on that pop for winning it because of the pandemic and everything. It really sucks. And the thing is that exactly for what Adam was saying, that we don't know when they're going to be able to get the fans back. It seems as if Drew was robbed of that moment, but he can get that moment back at a later time. So he could conceivably drop the belt and have them wait until the time is right to win it back in front of a live crowd, so he can get that pop that he deserves. Because I don't see him holding it for like the whole year. I wouldn't mind it, to be honest, if he held the belt for the whole year.
It's too much of a what if, because that's something we just don't know. So it's not like, oh yeah, we definitely know by December we'll be good. We'll be good. We don't.
Here's the thing. So I will be pulling very hard for Drew to win this because I support him as champion. I've been a fan of his for a long time, even back when they just weren't using him prior to him being put on 3MB and all that other stuff. I felt bad for the guy, and I'm glad to see him succeed. I want him to retain. I just have this feeling that they feel that they've put themselves in this position where they will undermine Randy Orton if he loses this. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could have the thing where Drew retains because of disqualification, and they decide to have a rematch at Payback and have it be, no disqualification or something like that, and have Orton win it through, by cheating or whatever. You could do something like that. I feel like whether it's SummerSlam or Payback, Orton is taking that belt off Drew McIntyre, unfortunately. So I'm going to say, just because we don't know if they're going to have that match at Payback or whatever, I'm going to say that Orton does it at SummerSlam. And I'm not going to be happy about it. I mean, I'll be happy for Orton in the sense that he's done a great job this year, but I want Drew to continue to be champion. So I hope I'm wrong.
All right, there we go. And that will be it. That is our predictions and rundown of a whole lot of wrestling. That was for NXT TakeOver. That was for AEW Dynamite on Saturday. That special. And SummerSlam. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, that were listening and watching over on Spotify, iTunes, over at the Koalition. Thank you for supporting us on all these platforms and enjoying all the content that we're creating. Again, I was your host, Adam Vale, joined by Dana Abercrombie, Richard Negron, and Richard Bailey Jr. This was big. This went long. This was big. But there was just so much. And then we still have Payback for next week. So we'll be back for that. But again, thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Peace, everybody. Unless anybody else has something else you want to say.
We'll see you for Payback.
Yes.
Right. See you for Payback. All right,
You'll
everybody.
see that one coming.
Right. You'll see that one. There you go. You know what? This is also funny because then it's almost, we don't do recaps, but it will fold into a recap because Payback is right after this one. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rematches and fallout that carries over. So we will see you then, people. Peace.